Into game we go. It's time for thoughts, and it's time for the old versus the new. But guess what? In this situation, the new is way too infant. The old is apparently a 30-year-old vet who has access to way too many guns, because this Civ right now is blasting everyone away. I'm not sure exactly who this is. They're ranked 48th in the world, I think it was. They are a Chinese account. I'm not sure if Yui Metal has returned to playing, but they're capable. They've consistently been ranking around like 40th to 50th season after season. The other side, Killjadi is looking to rank right to the tippity top of the ladder right now. In fact, I think he's ranked 6th at the time of recording. 5th with 2,125 elo. This boy is grinding, and it has been paying off. It's been a pleasure to watch him actually on the ladders. The only people ahead of him are Dumu, Puppy Paw, and I believe it's Vortex. He's eclipsed everyone else. And the interesting part is actually, I feel like a big part of what's been helping Killjadi rather is the Civ on the other side of this. He's a vicious HRE player. The moment that patch hit, I was like, good lordy. Seeing Killjadi in action, the new HRE fits playstyle perfectly, because those that do not know Killjadi, are not familiar with him, this is one of the most aggressive players we have in Age of Empires 4, full stop. And he's looking to get aggro with the Order of the Dragon. Mindwork path being dropped. I actually think this is the required way to play Order of the Dragon in this matchup. OTD become less favored against HRE the longer the game goes. The deeper you get in, when you get into Castle Age, Imperial Age, that's when you see HRE start to take a lead. Another interesting one is it can begin even as early as Castle Age. For example, both these Civs Rush Castle, the difference is that an HRE player can build prelates out of the TC. He can have prelates in Feudal Age. So then you just move out for relics ahead of the dragon. So it's very important for many different reasons, as we just highlight there, that dragons are the ones aggressing in the early phase of the game. Mindwork online. And you might be wondering, why would you build Mindwork and then go Stables? You bait a reactionary play. The goal here should be to get your opponent into Spearman, and then when they're into Spearman, you can go into Golden Cuirass Men-at-Arms. And those Golden Cuirass Men-at-Arms aren't going to have a counter at this age, right? Stables also being mirrored here. This is interesting, actually, because look what's happening. He's already almost into Castle. It's insane just how good this economy is. It's kind of crazy as well when you compare these. You just look up and you wonder, how have you arrived at this point where somehow the Order of the Dragon player is this far behind? I mean, he's queued 2 horsemen, sure, that makes up 480 resources. It doesn't explain the rest of this. It's just the raw power. The moment that Archon completes, all of a sudden, you've got 21 villages that are better than the Order of the Dragon villages. Remember, there are less Order of the Dragon villages. Sure, the 28% base is great, and the bases scale really well with the ecotechs, because the base number's higher, so any percentage increase is higher. But the problem is that these techs don't come in until, what, 6-7 minutes into the game? By the time you're starting to get to a point where your gilded villages maybe feel better than the Archon villages on the other side, your opponent's already going to be in Castle Age. It's actually insane that they can do this. And this, by the way, is like, Killjadi isn't playing the game wrong, right? He's gone for the horseman, he's trying to contest the areas. But it's just the power of the HRE economy. So you expect this a lot in your games, but what matters now is how many relics can you secure? Well, we've got 1 for free over here. Another one in the center seems quite grabbable if Killjadi's not looking. And I just realized we had to ban on that word, of course. But the interesting part is now that you're in this castle, before for blue, the issue of HRE is that they've done one predictable thing, and that's knights. They could only do knights. Ever since the buff to marching drills being there by default, I feel like HRE can just drop any building in Castle Age to feel good. Rax is added in as well. I swear the numbers aren't right. Does anyone else get that feeling? Like when you look at these numbers and you think about the raw resource difference. I explained Archon's powerful, but for a Civ that just has a 28% base rate increase, sometimes I just look at this and I'm perplexed. Like the numbers don't make sense. We have to remember he did get hit pretty hard, right? He gathered 3/4 rather of the board and then had to run back because of the horseman raid. So there's a lot of idle time there, and I think he made that pull before you had Wheelbarrow as well, so Teal was hurt by that. But that still doesn't explain a difference this big. The horseman cost sort of Canov, words today. Remember at this point, they've spent 1,200 resources on Gilded Horsemen. So that's 2/3 of a tech up. That's where it's all gone. But the question mark now is, like, where was the worth, right? Could you have instead just tried to build maybe 1 or 2 spears up on castle? Because then you would have had a blocker to the relics, and you would have had your own gathering as well. This is a tough one, man. Blue with the second stable's coming in. Other side of this, teal. Adding in the farms now. Not a great sign. I think you can't afford to be going for farms in this matchup now at this stage. You are behind on age, right? So you have to find that sweet spot of units to control the map and go up. And the problem is these horsemen have been annoying on the raid, but the reality is over time, they're going to lose value. And I love this detail coming in. The prelate pull for the heal is a sick read by blue. Because they're in castle ace, they can do that, right? They've got the regnants to build the extra prelates. And they can't rush out of the base. So what they're doing now is they're baiting teal to throw away their horsemen by trying to dive. Sick read. Is Arkan Chapel best feudal landmark? Quite possibly leave. I'm trying to think if there's a better landmark. I'd say it's like top 3, top 4, definitely. Kremlin? I don't, dude, like Kremlin's good. But compared to like the value play out of Arkan Chapel, I disagree that Kremlin's better than Arkan. I don't think Kremlin's better than Arkan. Kremlin protects your eco. Arkan gives you 40% more eco at a point in the game where like people can't have a big enough army to dive your base, right? And then you add E-repairs in as well. Like, come on, dude, it's not even close. Teal is getting ready to full and send it, dude. We are not going to see a tech hub, are we? It's impressive because it's kind of working, right? This is what we highlighted, is that HRE wants to get into castle, get into Imperial as quickly as possible. So when you block them like this, really, like, what has blue got out of this? They haven't really got a castle age. They're building knights which get countered by a field age unit because spears. I almost feel like blue needed to go for men-at-arms, but that's difficult because of the lack of food and also the fact that the gilded men-at-arms with the golden cuirass can actually contest you. And this is exactly why I said, like, dragon in feudal age, that's the win condition. That's the point to thrive in this matchup. And blue is now going to make that pull of the trigger. He's going into the men-at-arms. Difficult thing about the men-at-arms, by the way, spearmen actually aren't bad at dealing with those men-at-arms because of the fact that base damage is so high. Right, so I'm going to contest what Neri's saying here. A landmark that gives you a free second TC and extra would gather in 3 units. It doesn't give you a free TC though. It secures you to get an extra TC. That doesn't make it free. By that fallacy, I can say that Abbey of Kings is OP because it gives you a free TC. It's an annoying play, but it's not uncounterable, right? But like, what you have to keep in mind is me buffing all my economy by 40% now underneath my TC. Like, what is the equitable value of that? And I don't have to pay 700 more resources, 750 more resources for that, right? I just get it. I can't, like, I can't argue against the power of Arkan. It's too good. Arkan is the GOAT. I almost feel like Arkan should have some sort of cap on how many villages it can buff. Because at this stage in the game, you're buffing everything, right? It's 32 villages, but... Sorry, not 32. 37. So take that 37 number and now add 40% on. That's what you're at. That's insane. That's better than getting a second TC any day of the week. Well, all attempts. Looks like Teal will be able to intercept and block that prelate. So still no relics being brought home yet. This is insane. Teal agrees with what we said, right? You just build spearmen here. Even against the men-at-arms now. Like, look at the damage they do. You only have 4 melee armor? This unit has 2 melee armor, more health, and more damage. Oh, man. This really is the feudal all-in civ of AoE 4. And what a player to wield it as well. This is exactly the type of person you want to actually put it in the hands of. An all-inner for sure. Warlord coming out on the flanks. Horseman does have to back away, but he can come back into intercept. Second relic is on the way home. That might get intercepted as well. Spearman count has reduced everything. Blue is getting absolutely distrominated here. The only thing that's missing right now is Teal needs to get all these troops in. He needs to just bulk them and start heading to constrict the map more. Crazy game. I don't even know why there's still Knights in the field at this stage. But, like, what is your solution now if you're blue? I think Archers could kind of work because you've got March Drills. Archers is probably your best play, but there's already Horsemen. That's what makes this such a sick read coming out from the Order Dragon side. He opened Horsemen to block Archers and then spam Spearmen. You don't have a clear answer. Your best backup solution then is Lance Nectar, but Lance Nectar are expensive. And you've only just banked one relic after several minutes of trying as the HRE. Yeah, the micro is not leaving me impressed either out of blue. Way too many way too many Knights rather been thrown away for nothing. Another Men-at-Arms spam as well. So here's the funny thing. You might think that early Men-at-Arms would lose to Castle Age Men-at-Arms. Not true. The attack speed is kind of insane on these. Look, 1.38 compared to the 1.12. And even if you get heavy maces, like the damage numbers are kind of comparative at that stage, but you still have more raw HP. Yeah, pretty rough one actually for blue now. Spearman. Just continue to poke and prod. Prelate goes down again. And the spears are on the way. The other thing you have to remember is with Golden Cuirass, these Men-at-Arms are going to tank a lot of damage close to death. This is brutal, man. He can't do anything. Looks like he's going to try to snatch a second relic. This could be really good, actually. If he gets 2 relics, maybe we see those Lance Nectar we were highlighting before. The problem now is that there's Men-at-Arms as well, so Kiljadi doesn't really have units that are going to die fast. I mean, that's the beauty of Order of the Dragon, right? Is with a little bit of micro, you can get to a stage where you practically lose no units. Look at that. They killed 1 Spearman, and was that 2 Men-at-Arms, almost 3 dying. Wall's going to come in. Kiljadi, not going to be pulled in range, though. It's going to be a dive through. Horseman will just immediately target down the Prelate. And the Men-at-Arms are in there now, by the way. There's still no heavy maces, though. Blue doesn't have enough gold. He's spending it all on Men-at-Arms and Prelates. And here's the thing, like the Prelates, they can't even try to chain heal on the side because they just died too quickly to Spearmen. Feudal Age Spearmen that hit for 13 damage. This is like a Sipahi on foot. It's insane what these units can do. And after all this back and forth, relentless aggression, look at what's now coming. Kiljadi is finally starting to save up for Castle Age. In a game where there's still 4 relics up for grabs. Diving deeper. The only thing that Kiljadi needs to make sure he doesn't do is go into the base. Can't go underneath the TC. That's what will kill him here. Will fail again. Oh my god, dude. Oh, I noticed someone earlier, Julie was asking about like Tower of Victory and like the best landmarks of Feudal. Tower of Victory is like probably a top 5. It's definitely not number 1 though. The other thing is, like, compared to all these other landmarks, which landmark is the most applicable to different builds? Arkan. Arkan is the most applicable landmark to any build. He's coming out again. He's just not getting this. The Men-at-Arms count is at least going up. That's a good sign, right? But the problem is you're not microing back the injured Men-at-Arms here. Like, committing to fights like this is exactly how you lose the game. You need to chip, pull back, heal. Chip, pull back, heal. Blue, this is not pulling back. This is pulling back to the afterlife. Mainly just mostly Men-at-Arms left over, right? They're going to be upgraded soon, so not going to be the early anymore. They're going to be very chunky and hit even harder. Behind this, we should have Prelates now on the way out to start securing these relics and then sacred sites. I think this game is over. Blue has been stuck in his base so long that he's almost exhausted his safe gold. If your comp involves Men-at-Arms, it requires gold, right? Same with the Prelates. You've got 1 Regnit's Relic. That is not going to keep you alive here. Oh, God. Can't reduce down to 3. Sprint and placement is his 1 saving grace right now. I love the fact that Kiljadi just peels the Horseman to kill off all the Prelates, though. He's like, okay, I might be losing a foothold temporarily, but if you've got no religious boys, you've got no way of picking up relics. Gilded Crossbowman now also being queued up. And I was... I love it. I did. I actually love the way that Kiljadi plays. I'm in sync with the fort. I immediately was about to say, I really hope he's going to set up a proxy base so that he keeps troops funneling in. This is the read This is the correct play. If this Gilded Crossbowman come from back home, he gives a chance for Blue to scale and react. Now there is no scalability, no reaction. Prolot's going to try to pick it up, but he's got like 1 inch out of that. No, despite what some of us are told, I don't think 1 inch is going to make that much of a difference here. He's still, what, 20 inches short? And that is the immediate relic pick to force a GG.